Being in Hollywood before, how do I deal with a friend who is not ignorant of Islam, the laws of Islam, but still wants to pursue a career in acting in Hollywood? And it's not like he doesn't know what the laws are. He used to be, how do I deal with that?
I really don't know, man. You know what I mean? I can't really say the one thing. I think you just make dua for him, you know? I don't want to say the one thing because everybody is different, you know? Just talk to them about Islam, man, you know? The basics sometimes. Like, I still have brothers that they're Muslim and they still put records out. They still do music, but I can't force them to stay away from that stuff, you know what I mean? I don't really talk to them about it when I'm around. I just say, let's go pray, let's do that, just keep that, you know what I mean? Just keep reminding them, let's pray together, let's do this together. Eventually, inshallah, you might leave it, inshallah, you know? So.
In that one Tupac song, I Ain't Mad At You, he's referring to you in the beginning, saying that, now you live the life as a gangster and all that stuff.
Nah, in that song, I wasn't Muslim when he came out with that song. And that song, Pop, I think when he said that, he just kind of made up an individual. Because in the hood, most of the times in the city, that's like a pattern. You see a lot of people that was on the streets, they go into prison, and they literally come out Muslim and they change their life, you know what I mean? So he just threw it in a song like that.
I actually have one more question. Man named DJ Fatal, Hussein Fatal.
DJ Fatal, yeah.
Is he a Muslim? Because he's still in the music industry.
Oh, Hussein Fatal.
Yeah, Hussein.
Yeah, Hussein Fatal, I spoke to him the other day, he did tell me he took a shot. All the Outlawz they Muslim. And just because a person in the music industry doesn't mean it take them outside the fold of Islam. They still Muslims. We should pray for them, you know what I mean? And you never know what they're going through, but they still Muslim, you know. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I want to give my salams to you. And for the sister to ask about the Shia and the Sunni, the Sunnis are the followers of the companions of the Prophet, and the Shias are the followers of the family of the Prophet. That's what you could answer to whoever answers that question.
Yeah, but really, to that question, the Sunnis is only the follower of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, with the understanding of the companions. Because actually, that's, to be honest, that is the correct way to follow the Sunnah, because Allah says in the Quran, He said, "O Muhammad," He said, "whoever opposes the messenger and follow a way other than the way of the believers," Allah said, "I will leave them with their own and man them in the fire." And Ibn Abbas, right in the annual, he said, he was a cousin from the family of the Prophet Muhammad. He said when Allah mentioned believers in that verse, He was talking about us, the Sahabas. He was saying that Allah said, follow the Sahabas. So we know that the Prophet Muhammad, he came with the revelation, he taught the Sahabas right hand directly, and they implemented it. You know what I mean? So I think that Allah doesn't tell us to follow the Sahabas, He tells us to follow them in the examples, you know what I mean? But Allah tells us to follow the Prophet ﷺ first. And we, just like there's no verse in the Quran where Allah just say, follow the family of Allah's messenger. They right, they wrong, they wrong. But our true example is Allah's messenger, you know what I mean? And right now probably ain't really the time for the Shiite thing, you know. Just like, okay, listen.
If we could just keep the questions relevant to the topic, please. Thank you. We got a question.
I was wondering, did any of Tupac's in any family become Muslim? Or?
Yeah, Pac have a lot of family that's Muslim.
Yeah.
You know, he have cousins that's Muslim, uncle that's Muslim. He had 2 cousins that's Muslim, 3 cousins that's Muslim. He has a lot of Muslims in his family, inshallah.
Yeah, because like when I listen to Pac's music, I just feel like he could have been really Muslim. Yeah. Just the way that he talks, like his perspective.
Yeah, he know about Islam. He know about Islam, definitely.
Yeah.
But only Allah make the Muslims. He never accepted it, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I had a quick question for you, and it was, what part of your past do you try to revisit, or if you revisit parts of your past at all? A lot of the songs you talked about, you seem pretty passionate about, and I would agree that they're great songs. Is there anything that today, as a Muslim, that someone could take away from those songs?
To be honest, I don't know. It might have good in some of them songs, you know what I mean? Just like a lot of songs, it might have good and it might have bad, you know? But like Allah says about alcohol, it had benefit in it, but the greater harm is no evil, you know what I mean? So I won't tell nobody to go take anything away from any of my songs, you know?
say like you don't listen to any of the songs you've made in the past, and just kind of try to forget about that? Okay.
Alhamdulillah, I don't listen to music at all. Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Walaikum salam.
Thank you for speaking to us. I'm sorry I was a little bit late, so you might have explained this and I might have not been here. You were talking about like how your environment affects people a lot and the things that they do. And in today's society, like our society is in a shape where a lot of people are growing up in poverty and they're having to deal drugs to make a living. So how do you think we should go about this? As Muslims or just people concerned in general to make our society better?
I think as for Muslims, I think we should just lead by example, inshallah. You know what I mean? If I could just say that, as Muslims, we just try our best to live as Muslims, you know what I mean? And eventually, inshallah, that should spread out into the society, inshallah. 2 more questions, you said? And that's it?
I guess I wanted to thank you for coming, and especially during your speech at the flagpoles. When you were, I know someone who just recently converted to Islam, and there were some verses I guess she asked me that I didn't know how to explain, and you kind of explained like the one about like being alive and all that, and said you just explained all that. It's like because God hates oppression and not just oppress. So I kind of want to thank you for that. And also, is there anything that would be helpful for me to give her as being a convert? As like maybe more explaining.
I think the Tafsir Ibn Kathir, that's a big help because that's explaining the Quran, you know what I mean? The Tafsir Ibn Kathir, that like explaining the Quran, inshallah. Explanation of the Quran. I think that's a good book, inshallah. Thank you.
Maybe just to clarify, could you clarify about the beating of women so no one gets the wrong idea?
Like I said, man, I ain't in a position I can give fatwas and nothing, but alhamdulillah, I was able to study under some brothers and write some stuff about the sheikhs. Because earlier, somebody said, well, the religion of Islam in the Quran teaches you to beat your woman. And I said that the scholars and the Sahabas and them, they said that the Prophet explained it that when he whipped the woman, it was like this, or with 2 fingers. This is this. This is how when they asked the Prophet, how do we beat the woman? He said, you do this. Like tap, not actually beat your woman. Because a lot of it like oppression, you know what I mean? So some people might take that verse the wrong way if they don't read the explanation of the Quran. You know what I mean? So that's what the brother was talking about earlier, inshallah. That's it. Jazakallah khair for the time.
Thank everyone for coming out. Actually, to answer an earlier question, this was put on by the Muslim Student Union as part of the annual Islam Awareness Week. And this is actually the last night, but hopefully, inshallah, God willing, next year there will be another Islam Awareness Week. If anyone has any questions about Islam, you can come visit the Muslim Student Union at the Cross Cultural Center, msu.uci@gmail.com if you have any questions. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.